D-Lab's got another vintage amp project on the bench. This time a Sears model 1484. It's a Class A 6v6 amp. First one that I've worked on here in D-Lab. It's very cool. So the amplifier is operational at this time. What the owner wants is a grounded line cord added to prevent that shock hazard that you hear about. New filter caps installed. Might as well get some fresh ones in there for longevity. And then the output transformer uses those little, say, 22 gauge enamel coated wires that solder direct to the speaker, and they can easily be damaged. So he wants me to add a jack to the chassis, kind of like what you'd see on a Fender Champ. So here we go. Well, here we go, guided tour of the Sears Silvertone 1481. Here's the front panel. Thing is in perfect condition. A little bit of oxidation on the aluminum, but it looks great. You can see the tube line up. Got your 12AX7 6v6. There's the output transformer filter cap, 6x4 rectifier, and of course the power transformer. Let's flip it around. Super clean example of this amplifier. Like I say, the first one that's been in D-Lab. There's that output transformer, and there's those little puny leads I was telling you about that we need to correct. All these tubes are the actual Sears Silvertone brand, which is very cool. Little ID tag with the serial number. I got the bottom cover removed, so we'll go from left to right. There's our power cord coming in. Little death cap, huh? Power switch. Here's the base of the 6x4, the base of the filter cap. A couple controls up there. Input jacks. 6v6 is over here. There's the old cathode bias resistor. And the coupling caps for the 12AX7. Super clean amp. It's going to be a lot of fun to work on. Alright, the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and get the line cord changed out with the grounded type, and then I'm going to add our little RCA jack to the chassis in this area for the speaker connection. After I get all that done, we're going to go ahead and power this thing up and take a look at the output. Alright, there's a new RCA speaker jack installed. I had to make a little hole under the output transformer for the secondary leads with a rubber grommet. They come under the chassis and solder to the jack. Well, here we go. Initial test. I have the grounded power cord connected and the speaker jack, of course, at this point. Going into the D-Lab audio test set using my audio generator and monitoring on my scope. So let's bring her up and see how that sine wave looks. That's what I'm mostly concerned with right now. Looks good and clean. So that's a Class A 6v6 amp. Looking good. Let's check those filter caps. Now here's the main filter cap. You can see it's one of those smaller diameter type. So they're kind of hard to locate. This one is 20 microfarad at 450, then you have a 10 and a 5 microfarad section. And that's how it's wired underneath. So what the plan is to leave the original filter cap in place for cosmetics. I'm going to raise the leads that are going to the 3 sections, install a terminal board, and have 3 separate caps underneath where they will not be seen, but they will provide the filtering the amp needs. Well, I did the easy one first. If you look at this terminal of the 3-section cap, there was this black wire that used to run over here to the junction of these 300K resistors. So I simply added this cap right there and utilized a ground point. Okay, so now when we go back over here, I only have to land 2 new filter caps with the terminal board. Alright, what I did here was ran a 440 screw right through the hole of the existing pop rivet. Didn't have to drill it out, went right through. So the terminal board now mounts there. There's going to be a cap from this point to ground and this point to ground. The red wires are going to swing to this terminal and the orange goes there. The main filter cap has been uninterrupted. I did not cut off the terminals. So this can be fully reversed if you wish. The reason I'm going with the separate caps is for economical purposes. Keep the cost low for the owner. Alright, mission complete. New filter caps are all installed. One thing you have to keep in mind when you're working on these amps is there is a cover that goes across here. So you want to make sure that whatever you do, you allow enough clearance for that cover to go back on. Getting close to retest time. I still want to verify the tubes. I made this nice little pigtail for the owner, which just plugs in like a Champ type of speaker connection, so he'll have to solder these to his speaker. So believe it or not, these old Silvertone original tubes checked perfect on my B&K 747, so they are remaining installed in this amp. I know you guys are probably tired of my oscilloscope and audio generator testing, alright? So I thought, hey, why don't we hook up this old 10-inch National radio speaker from the 1960s, right? Kind of fits. And I do have a guitar here, okay? So we'll bring her up and see what it sounds like out of a radio speaker. Oops. Let's try again, eh? Sounds pretty good. Here's the tone. I'd say she's working. It's time. Alright, so that was a fun repair. Another one out of the shop. That Silvertone will shine for another couple decades of service. Join me again for more cool vintage amp repairs, because they keep coming in. I love it. We'll see you.